We'll move on from the 3Ds, but we're going to talk about trigger stacking. So do you understand what that means? Have you ever heard of that terminology before?
Multiple triggers kicking off at the same time.
Yeah, so basically, we're going to take the cars as a big trigger for you. Let's say, smells, other dogs, people, they're also triggers that contribute to, every single smell or dog or person that you come across. You might not show like a big reaction towards them, but they probably triggers that help contribute to the bigger picture.
Yeah.
So what I mean by that then, so cars is the big deal, okay? If this was empty, let's take it as, and I just want you to again imagine something, but I want you to think that this bottle represents a dog's capacity to deal with stress. Okay, so stress for you, again, stress doesn't need to be you're losing your head, banging your head off the walls, like you're upset about it. Stress could come from being overwhelmed, overexcited about something as well. Okay, so that's what I think the cars do for you. You get a lot of enjoyment when they turn up. You get overwhelmed quick, and then you start trying to chase them. Your prey drive kicks in, and you just want to chase the cars. Okay.
Do you not think it's coming from a place of like aggression?
I don't know, but from what I said outside, where dogs can act on something like that, and they can get enjoyment out of reacting. I think she gets enjoyment out of chasing the cars. But the frustrating thing for her is, especially like then when it was the fence line that stopped her from being able to do it. And if we're at the side of the road and it's the lead attached to her, it stops her from doing it. So she has this great idea in her head that chasing the cars would be a really good thing to do, but she never gets to finish that behaviour off, because obviously we're not going to let her run down the road after the car because it'd be dangerous. But because she never gets to finish that behaviour off, it becomes frustrating. So over time of this really excitable thing happening, but then I don't get to act on it. Not saying it will, but some dogs might change their mindset about that and get really annoyed then when they see the cars and get angry about it and stuff like that. But right now, because she's only young still as well, I don't think it's there. I just think she's really excited by it and she wants to do it, but she could quite quickly become really annoyed about it as well. So obviously that's why we're gonna work on it. But trigger stacking, now let's go back to this idea. So this is your capacity to deal with stress, okay? And then let's say we go out on this walk and this is empty to start with. And then when we go out of our front door and we see a car, so however much out of a big deal a car is for you depends on how much water now gets added to this, if that makes sense. So let's say cars are a big deal. So as soon as we see one, I'll just adjust myself. Bugger. That would have been another blooper on the camera, wouldn't it? So again, with this then, like I said, cars are a big deal. So now when we see one, we tip some water into there, but it might be that much because a car is a big deal. If we came out and the first thing we saw was a person, well, it might not have been a big deal, but that might have contributed just to a little bit going in there. Yeah. And then we see another person, we see another dog, we see that smell, we now see a car, like quite quickly of just walking out the front door. This could start filling up really quick. The thing that happens with it is once it gets to the top and we add something else to it, that then overflows, doesn't it? That's when we're going to start seeing reactions. But it all depends on, when we go out the front door, obviously I don't know where you live, but when you go out the front door, you might be on a road straight away and there might be 5 cars, 10 cars in front of you straight away. Well, that potentially gets filled up instantly. Yeah, so then when we carry on the walk, maybe it has the effect where react to all these cars because this is at the top and it just keeps overflowing. Or it might have the other effect where you've filled it up quick, you've had a few reactions, and then from there you're just like, okay, I'm not that bothered anymore. So again, it depends on each dog, but some dogs stick in the mindset of, I'm full, you keep adding more to this capacity to deal with stress and I can't hold myself back anymore. That's why it looks as though I'm constantly react, or sometimes we might not see the physical reaction, but in your head, you're reacting, if that makes sense. Yeah, so you don't actually show it because you might have had a few reactions, and let's just say it works like this, where a few reactions dropped it down a little bit. So you've got a bit more to deal with. But then when we add a couple more cars or dogs or the horse is now making noises or whatever, yeah, they all contribute to filling it all back up again. So what I want to do, because if you look at it like this and compare this idea to us as people, you've got some people who are really patient, and then you've got people who are short fuses as well. Yeah. So the patient person is this, the short fuse is a little shot glass, and we're all different. You know, we've all got different characteristics of us as ourselves as people. Same for dogs. If you're a shot glass, a short fuse, and the first car you see, you're already at your limit. You've gone now. Your head's in a different place. If you're a really patient person or dog though, then you deal with 10 different cars before then you react on it. So I'm not saying someone who's a short fuse or a shot glass, they can't turn into something bigger. They can with the right amount of training. But what I want to try to do is kind of limit your exposure to the things that make you kick off. And that might look by the environment we go to, or the environment we go to, can I control the 3Ds a little bit better? Could I put a bit of distance? Not every single time, but sometimes could I make a bit more of a gap between us and this trigger right now, so it doesn't contribute to a big influx going into that. Does that make sense? Cool. Any questions on that at all? No? So if you was to tie the 3Ds into trigger stacking and think what I want you to be able to be is a manager of these things, because what a dog can't do is they can't manage them themselves. Over time, through the right management process that we could put in place, it would help her understand how she could do it herself. So we don't always have to manage. But to start with, you need to know what is a good idea and what isn't a good idea. So I need to let you know, and I might need to put you in different situations, like I said, by creating a bit more of a gap between us and the trigger, or not leaving you in that scenario for too long. I'm not going to leave you just sat at the side of the road watching cars go by for 2 minutes. I might just do it for 2 seconds, but we'll have a successful rep during that one. So then I can pay you and go, well done, I liked it. But I'm going to limit your exposure where I don't just keep throwing you in the deep end. Because if I keep throwing you in, and again, you don't know how to swim right now, you're going to drown, aren't you? That emotion that you feel, it'll just flood you dead quick. And then you'll panic and you don't know what to do. Same way, like if we're going back to the swimming example, if you throw someone who can't swim in the deep end, they're instantly flapping, aren't they? Thinking they're going to drown. So that's what we can do with our own emotion as well. You can feel something dead quick, and it just overtakes you, doesn't it? And then you're stuck, and you've got no idea. That's why you need somebody to try to help you and manage you through that guidance that they're going to give you. Okay, cool. Any questions?